Is it unethical for spiritual teachers or spiritual masters to charge us for their causes? See, many of us compare current spiritual teachers with enlightened masters hundreds of thousands of years ago. Those days, hundreds of thousands of years ago, those masters went to forest or caves to pursue their spiritual path while leaving their family behind. Okay, they abandoned their whole family to pursue their spiritual path, and they usually will go to forests, rivers or caves, any secluded areas. Am I right? Today we don't have to do that. Today many spiritual masters are pursuing spiritual path while leading a fulfilling family life, because they know that spiritual awakening and enlightenment is possible while leading a fulfilling family life. You don't have to abandon your family to pursue your spiritual path anymore. Those days when spiritual masters left their whole family, left their whole life to go to forest for spiritual path, had actually made lots of common people to fear the path of spirituality. It made many common people to be afraid of the path of spirituality. They thought that spiritual enlightenment, spiritual progress, or any types of spiritual awakening is impossible. Common people thought that it was impossible because they thought that they had to leave everything behind in order to pursue their path, their spiritual path. Hence, they were dependent on their narcissistic religious figures for spiritual guidance. They did not tap into their own higher self. They did not tap into their own true self, and was totally dependent on external religious figures for guidance. And many of them were narcissistic religious figures. Hence, today, many ascended masters, enlightened masters, light workers, light warriors, spiritual healers decided to take a different path. They want to be a leading example for common people that we can attain spiritual awakening or spiritual enlightenment or any sort of spiritual progress while leading a fulfilling family life. And today, many spiritual masters, ascended masters, light workers, spiritual healers were born during this time to inspire people, to inspire common people to pursue the spiritual path. So these people, they took birth to pursue the spiritual path like common people, like common family people. And that's the reason today many spiritual masters are pursuing their spiritual path while leading a fulfilling family life without abandoning their family. Okay? So that there won't be any gap between them and common people. So that common people do not put them on pedestal and think that spiritual path is something impossible. When you put something or someone on a pedestal, you automatically start to think that it's not achievable for us, that it's not attainable for us. Okay, so since those times, in those times, those masters went to forest, went to cave to pursue their spiritual path, They didn't have the necessity to have money or other facilities with them. They didn't need those money and facilities. Why do they need so much of money and facilities to lead a spiritual life in a forest or a cave? They don't need it. They didn't need it. However, since now they are pursuing their spiritual path while leading a fulfilling family life, obviously they need the money and other facilities too. Today, when we want to conduct a spiritual course, okay, if you conduct it in a forest, if you conduct it in a village, nobody would want to attend those courses, those spiritual courses. So today, if we need to conduct a spiritual course or spiritual program, we have to conduct it at a large hall or a large hotel. When we conduct it at a large hall or large hotel, we need to pay for food, accommodation, air condition. Plus, we also need to pay for the agencies who are conducting those courses on behalf of us. So we need money for that. And then those masters or those teachers need to charge us for the amount of time that they spend with us, because time is valuable. Time is valuable. Okay, if it's 2 to 3 hours, they charge accordingly. Time is extremely valuable. Why? You have to understand another perspective here. Many spiritual teachers, okay, today we don't only have enlightened masters, we also have different types of spiritual teachers, spiritual healers, and different types of spiritual teachers. Okay, most spiritual teachers and enlightened masters are empaths. Who are empaths? Empaths are people who can feel other people's emotions as their own, and they absorb other people's emotions and pain. So most of these spiritual teachers and masters, they are empaths. So they are not able to spend time with a crowd or with one person for a very long time. They might be only able to spend time with them maximum 2 hours or 1 hour. So they will try to cover their expenses by spending time with fewer people, with lesser people, by charging you more and spending time with lesser people quickly. They want to cover up their expenses quickly because they are not able to spend time with larger amount of large crowd or lots of people for a very long time. Plus, they have to cover their expenses. Okay, see, most of the time, if you look at spiritual teachers, any type of spiritual teachers or spiritual masters platform or courses, most of the times their audios, their books, and the beginner courses will be at a lower price. Usually will be at a lower price. Okay, and many of them have social media platforms where they share their videos or post for free. Okay, however, if you need an advanced coaching with them, an advanced program with them, or advanced course with them, you have to pay them more. Because it involves more resources, more time, more resources, more energy. And these spiritual masters and teachers too have to take care of their children's education, their family. See, money is not a devil or demon like how some spiritual people preach you. Money is energy. The more highly aware you are, highly spiritually awakened you are, the more you will be aligned with the highest abundance frequency. and money is part of that abundant frequency. Okay, so it's energy exchange. So it's not evil. Okay, so many of them use that money to help others. Money does not only help us to survive, but it also helps us to help others. Okay, so many of these spiritual teachers, they do lots of charities. They help those less privileged ones. Some of them have organizations to help students or to help poor people out there. However, I do agree that spiritual people or highly awakened people, they lose interest with luxury. Even I don't have much interest with luxury. However, you have to understand one thing. Most of these spiritual teachers, they love to spend time at a secluded area, surrounded by nature. While we can meditate anywhere we want, it's true we can meditate anywhere we want. However, meditating or staying at a place or environment that is aligned with our true self, that is aligned with us energetically, help us to meditate easily and effortlessly, and help us to step into our higher self easily, effortlessly. It helps us to balance our nervous system faster. And that's one of the reasons those days enlightened masters, they go to caves, forests and rivers. They spend time at those places because those places have very high vibe. Today, secluded homes surrounded by nature, or houses surrounded by nature, is very expensive. And usually those type of houses are at upscale areas where those rich people stay. Okay, if you want to have a house at a secluded area surrounded by lots of nature, usually this kind of house will be only found as at those upscale areas, those rich people's residence. Am I right? So that's the reason you might find lots of spiritual teachers staying in those residential area, not because they wanted luxury. Now I'm only speaking on behalf of genuine teachers and genuine spiritual masters, not those greedy fake ones. Okay, this is a disclaimer. Okay, so these teachers usually might be staying at those places not because of love for luxury, but because they wanted to stay in a secluded area. They wanted to be surrounded by nature. And many of those teachers, they want to have their own land. They want to have a house with land. Why? Because they want to grow their own food in their land. They want organic food. They're very fussy about the foodstuffs. They want to grow their own organic food. Today's organic food is so expensive. So they usually look for house with land. And where can we find those type of houses? At those upscale areas. Okay? So let's take me as an example. I don't usually go after luxurious products or extremely expensive product. However, I do go after products with high quality. We can get products with high quality that is much cheaper and affordable in price. Am I right? However, if I have to purchase a high quality product which is quite expensive, I will do it because of the quality. But that doesn't make me as a luxury liver. You have to understand that. Because I want to use it for a long term. Certain products, you have to use it for a long term. But yes, I agree. Not all products which have high quality are expensive. There are many products which is affordable and cheaper, good products. Okay? So, if the spiritual teacher is staying alone or single, then they might not mind staying just in a studio apartment surrounded by nature. Okay? So you cannot judge a spiritual teacher by their fees, by the fees that they charge. Okay, you can't judge them as fake or fraudulent just by their fees or just by their charges for their programs. In order to identify a fraudulent spiritual teacher, you have to see other things, other patterns, such as their character, their behavioral pattern, their teachings, and many more. I can easily detect this fraudulent spiritual teacher, and not based on their fees or their charges for their causes, but based on their behavioral pattern, by their teachings, how they teach certain things. And intuitively, I can just detect them very fast, just like that. And usually has nothing to do with their fees or the charges for their causes. So do not immediately judge these people as fake just solely based on their charges or fees for their programs. Okay, did you know that I have seen few narcissistic spiritual teachers who conduct free teachings? These teachers, these narcissistic spiritual teachers, they only wanted power, fame, and praise. So they deliberately give you free teachings in order to stand out from rest of the teachers. And slowly, that's a bait to trap you, to lure you into their trap. So be careful. So just because a teacher is teaching you something freely doesn't mean that they are a genuine teacher. That might be a trap. And just because a teacher is charging you more doesn't mean the teacher is fake. You have to see their whole behavioral pattern. You have to explore and experiment their products or their causes that they are teaching. Okay? So let me know what you think about this issue. I'm very interested to know about it from you. Thank you.